Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video here on this channel. In today's video, we are diving into an application called Layer, which is a task management application that works as a mind mapping tool. It is a little hard to say, and it is a little hard to understand what this application does, but in today's video, that is what we are going to check out. And this is, if you're new to the channel, a first impression video, which means that I have not tested out the application beforehand. This is the first time I'm testing out the application. I've just logged on. And one of the reasons why I do videos like this is to see if a tool is really intuitive, if it is hard to learn, and just look at it like from a totally new experience, which most users will have when they first try out the application. I will then come back and I will do a more in-depth review that might take some time because I have so many different of these applications I've done a first impression on, and there are so many applications out there right now, but I will get back to it as soon as I can. So let's start off with the pricing, which right now is a little weird because they have a pro plan with an AI assistant. Doesn't everybody have an AI assistant at this point? But they have a super sale right now, which is 0 USD, which is great. They also have an enterprise plan for 2.79 each month. They call it also says investor, become our investor and help us make Layer better for the world, buy us a coffee. But what you are getting in this pro plan is focus mode, templates are unlimited, tasks are unlimited. You are getting 100 members available, 50 projects available, and one transform your life. We will figure out what this means later. So after winning on Product Hunt and receiving invaluable feedback, they have decided to open Layer to the world for free. All pro features are now available to everyone. I'm wondering if you will keep those free features or the free pro plan, or if you at some point will have to pay. My guess is that you will at some point have to pay, but that is not something I've figured out yet. Now let's jump into the application. So this is how it looks. So here I have the whole application. These are templates, I think. So boosting sales, personal development, user's guide, how to develop a web. Here you have your task. So I can manually enter a task from here. We will get back to that later. But let's actually go ahead and add a project. So you have 5 projects and you have 15 boards. I wonder what the difference is here. So this is a project. Let's just write test and blocks edited members. Let's try to press some of these. It doesn't feel that intuitive to me. Can I open this up? I can't. Can I right click? I can't. I can only click on this checkbox right here. Let's try here. So I can open it, but I have to press that. And when I press open, it goes back here. So when I now click these 3 dots, I click open. Now it opens here, and this is the objects, but there aren't any objects. Let's do test 2. Enter. The name has been changed. Let's try to open this again. All objects. How do I add an object? Let's try to add a board. Maybe if I just press the plus, it will create something. So now I have a project board. And in here, let's say I wanted to do a plan, a monthly plan, or a yearly plan. Let's do yearly. So I would have my yearly plan, which then would be quarterly plans. Quarterly plans. Let's actually just try that out. Can I add one more? I can. So quarterly plan 2. So let's just call this quarter 2 or second quarter. I can change the color. I can't pick my own, but my guess is that I can change the name. But let's just go ahead and give it a yellow color for now. Can I add a deadline? So I can add a deadline. I can add a status. So let's just give this to do. It gives it this arrow, so you can actually quickly see where something is, whether it's a work in progress, a to-do, a done, expired to date. So you can actually quickly see it by using these things right here, the statuses. What else can I do? What does this lightning button? That just gives it an emoji. This I'm not sure, so I can choose open or close, but I'm not sure what that does. I can go into focus, which is a pro feature. So let's just try out the pro plan. Because now I'm back here and I have one board inside of, I'm still trying to figure that. So I can have a project and a board inside the project. That is what it looks like. So if I jump into here, it has this, which is, so that is what it looks like. I can have a project, then I can have boards inside of projects. Now let's go back to deadline. I just pressed that I wanted to upgrade to the pro plan, but it did not let me. Let's try again here. It is a little slow, so let me just get the pro plan and I will get back to you. So now I have the pro plan, and here I can add a deadline like this. I can actually add a date range. That is something I do like, so I can add a date range, include time, and due date reminder. So that is something I can do. By the way, signing up for the Pro plan actually didn't prompt me to put in any credit card information. So that is just something to keep in mind. I know that that is a little important to a lot of people when they're signing up for free trials and things like that. So here I can see 8 days. It lasts 8 days. So if I now do like this, or actually let me do it like this, it will turn into 9 days. So this shows me how long something lasts. Users, my guess is that this is if you had a team, but I'm wondering, what does folder do? Let's just add test here as well. Pressing enter opens up a new one, but I'm not sure what folder does. Does it do anything? It doesn't feel like it does anything. I can share this, so I can share it as a public link. I can export it as a PNG, PDF, or SVG. But let me just go ahead and add a couple of tasks. So let's say I had a monthly plan, and then I turn this into a daily plan. So daily plan, I need to turn off my caps lock, but daily plan. So this was my task, and here I could add multiple different ones. Let's go back like this. So task, and I could have task, and again another, you guessed it, task. And if I now click this, what does this do? So this actually turns everything into a task, but if I mark, let's just mark this and then press. No, this actually turns everything into a task, but can I turn just one of them into a task? Let's say I didn't want all of this to be a part of my task. Could I do that? It doesn't seem like I can, but let's just turn everything into a task here. So I can also change the way it looks, either short nodes or tree with levels. It has layers, which is something I'm used to from, not from mind mapping applications, but from things like Photoshop, Illustrator, things like that. I'm used to having layers. I can add another one here. So you could add another one here. There are creative ways of using this application, but one thing I'm wondering right now, if I go back into here, will this show up in my tasks? So the things I've tagged with like due dates and edit statuses, the things I've given statuses to, they show up, but everything does not show up. So let me just add a status to this. That is the one right here. So let's just add a couple. And my guess is that now they will show up here as well. So they do. If I turn everything into a task, will it show up then? Because it didn't the first time, it doesn't. But what happens if I add a task from right here? Where does that task exist? So it doesn't exist anywhere. So I can actually put it into a board. Now this makes more sense. I can put this into one of my boards, and but these are already inside of boards. So one thing I would like to see here is that whenever I add something to a board, that it actually shows me which board this is on. That would be something I would really like. But now I've added this to the board, and my question then is, where on the board will this appear? So it appears underneath tasks, which is a new one that it created by itself. So it creates a new one called task. This wasn't here before, I think. I'm pretty sure that this wasn't here. Um, but I think like my first impression on this is that it looks like an interesting application. I think a lot of people could benefit from a visual application like this. I don't think that it is as complex as like I showed you right now, because I started a bit in the wrong direction and I got a little confused. So I don't think it is that complex. I think it is actually simpler than it looked on this video, and I will probably do another review of this quite soon, because I think it is an interesting application. So I will play around with it and I will do a video on it coming soon. So if you haven't already, subscribe to catch that one. But my initial thoughts is that a lot of people would benefit from something like this, especially if you just like to see things visually. I know that a lot of people actually use Miro to plan out their projects. I think this could be interesting for like smaller teams as well. I don't think it is interesting for bigger teams, simply because it will get saturated quite quickly and it doesn't offer different views. So you can't actually turn this into a Kanban board, for example. But the application looks really interesting, and I think it is worth taking a look at. I will be back with a more in-depth video, and if you enjoyed this one, please do like and subscribe. And as usual, I hope to see you again quite soon.